What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. In today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how I was able to successfully farm the brand new Solemn Odion event that just got introduced to Duel Links literally an hour ago from the time that I'm recording this video. This farm deck might not work for everybody watching this video, and if that's the case, if enough of you guys want me to, I can do one of my videos where I do a ultimate farm guide where I showcase multiple types of farm decks that you guys can use to farm Solemn Odion. But this is just going to be showcasing the first farm deck that I was able to use against him, and I'll be honest, Solemn Odion's a little bit annoying, so let me go show you guys the deck that I used to farm this boy right here. That's going to be around until August 18th. So the deck that I'm going to be using is good old Winged Dragon of Ra, but it's going to be slightly different than how I normally play the deck compared to previous Winged Dragon of Ra farm decks. So Odion's deck is a very trap heavy deck, and this could be very annoying to go against when you're trying to stall out to get the most amount of score, because he will throw down 3 different trap cards that are monsters, summon all of them, and swarm you very quickly. And a couple of the strats that I normally use to kind of cheese some wins against Odion or against other farms kind of don't work too well with how I normally do my farm decks, and I'll kind of explain it throughout the section that I showcase to you guys for the replay and all that stuff, because I'm going to showcase you guys a replay after this deck list. But I guess first, let's break down, or I'm going to first tell you guys my deck list and where to get the cards, and I'll kind of break down how to use this deck correctly, and then I'll show you guys a replay that I was able to use to successfully farm Odion and get over 8,000 scores. So let's get into it. So first things first, we have our boy Winged Dragon around. If you don't have this card yet, don't know what to tell you, it's a lifetime mission reward. Get it by checking your little missions in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. 3 copies of Golden Ladybug. This card is a must for this farm, like a strong must. There's been previous farms where you can get by without using Golden Ladybug. Honestly though, with against Solemn Odion, I strongly recommend getting Golden Ladybug. It's really hard to cheese without using 3 copies of Golden Ladybug. So get Golden Ladybug from the Primal Burst box. Good investment. Golden Ladybug has been very useful in so many different types of decks. Rocking 1 copy of the anti-magic arrows. We're going to be rocking 1 copy of Double Summon, which is from the Chaos Compliance box. You can also actually, yeah, you can't, well, you can use Arrival Rivals if you want. You can actually use Arrival Rivals if you want, but you wouldn't want to use Double Summon right there. Next up, we have 1 copy of Enemy Controller, and do not use this to help you survive the duel. You actually need to use Econ at the very end of the duel to switch one of your opponent's monsters from defense position to attack position, so you can go for the kill with your Wing Dragon War, you're going to summon on the final turn. So do not use your Enemy Controller to save you a turn, because in most cases it's not going to work out. And we're also rocking 1 copy of Wormbait. In the past, we used Creature Seizure to basically swap one of our Wormbait tokens to, and we would give it to our opponent, and then what we do is when we summon our Winged Dragon of Ra, we would be able to attack it to the Wormbait token that we just used with Creature Seizure. But since Odion's cards count as trap cards, you cannot use Creature Seizure to take one of your opponent's cards. So due to that, that's why we're not rocking Creature Seizure in this deck, because it just doesn't work, because Odion's cards are still technically trap cards, even though they're in the monster zone. So keep in mind that. Rocking 2 copies of Drowning Mirror Force. This card is still really good in the farm, but it doesn't do the complete job as we would want it to, because in previous farm decks that I've used with Drowning Mirror Force, it was really good to throw back our opponent's monsters back into the deck so that we don't have to worry about our opponent decking themselves out. But thanks to Odion being a trap heavy deck, since his cards are counted as trap cards when you Drowning Mirror Force them, they actually get sent to the Banish Zone instead of back into the deck, which is very annoying. So keep in mind of that, and that's why we're rocking 3 copies of Good Goblin's Housekeeping and 1 copy of Jargreed, so that we can draw and thin out our deck as quickly as we can. Rocking 1 copy of Reject Reborn. If you don't need to worry about defending yourself too much, then rock more copies of Draw Power, or rock more copies of Wall Disruption, because honestly, what helps you out and what helps me out the most with this farm, from what I can notice so far, is Wall of Disruption. When Odion swarms his entire field with 3 different monsters that are trap cards, you'll lock out his trap cards, and since you use Wall of Disruption, you'll put all of his monsters to 0 attack points. So if you don't have Wall Disruption, which is from the Servants of King's mini box, if you don't have Wall Disruption, this farm is going to be extremely difficult in some cases, because if you don't have it, then Odion is going to be able to just swarm his field again, and all that stuff like that, and it's just very tedious and annoying to deal with. So be sure to rock Wall Disruption so that you can throw all of his monsters to 0 attack. And then since he locked out his trap card zones, he can't play any trap cards to get rid of his monsters, and he switches all of his monsters to defense position, and you're pretty much good to go from there. So run Wall Disruption is very useful. Rocking 3 copies of Draining Shield. This is both a blessing and a curse, because sometimes when you trigger your own trap cards, Odion will summon his Paleozoic monsters and summon them onto the field. So be cautious with using Draining Shield, but we're using Draining Shield so that we can get over 10,000 life points. But this card is some ways not a need, because sometimes you can trigger any of your trap cards, and Odion will special summon Palos from his graveyard, which is super annoying. So It is what it is right there. Must with this deck, you need Winged Dragon Ra, Golden Ladybug, Anti-Magic Arrows, Double Summon or Arrivals, Enemy Controller, Worm Bait, Wall Disruption, and Draw Power. The rest is up to you. You can rock other trap cards to defend yourself until the final turn, but rock a lot of Draw Power, rock Wall Disruption so you can stall yourself out, or you can stall yourself until you have 0 cards in your deck and then go for the OTK. Let's go move on to the PvP arena stuff. Let's go move on to the, not PvP arena, but the, yeah, well, actually, it is the PvP arena to check out a replay. So let's go check that out right there and go to the bottom and go do the one replay that I got you guys for the Yugioh Odion. I'm checking my recording right now. I was worried if I was potentially streaming on accident or whatever, but we good right here. And yeah, I'm going to teach you guys how I was able to successfully do this farm. Keep in mind, I did trigger a one of the boosters that if you got to 0 life points, you would get 2,000 life points back, but I did not need to use it, luckily. And yeah, my opening hand was absolutely horrible. Normally, I have pretty good luck with farms when they just come out into the game, but this time Odion was very tricky. It was not being super nice to me. This was like my 5th farm trying to farm Odion. Luckily, he was spawning a lot, but man, he was a pain to fight. But I got a bad hand. This hand was pretty garbage. Luckily, I was able to recover pretty well. So we got to get that Golden Ladybug happening. 3 face downs right away. This is what you're going to expect in most duels, is 3 face downs immediately, and it's so annoying. He's going to do his draw power. He's going to just keep going from there. And we top deck into Draining Shield and drop it. He's going to summon his embodiment of the Aerophis or whatever it is. And I guess we'll watch it just for one time in the video. Let's go check out this summoning animation, because I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've seen this one. But yeah, we have the one of the first little trap card monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links right here. Very, very obnoxious. But as you guys can see, Odion can swarm his field very, very quickly. And I really didn't have that much time to prepare. And this was like, I probably shouldn't have activated Draining Shield right here. And this is why I was kind of warning you guys, because he attacks into me. I'm going to get to 1,200 points of damage, but then he's going to special summon his Piccolo onto the field and all that stuff. Honestly, the only time I would recommend for you to do something like this is when you have a Wall of Disruption at your disposal, so that you can just play your Wall of Disruption and turn all of his monsters to 0 attack. But that's my only time I'd recommend doing that. But when I did that, that was a very bad play. That was a pretty stupid play. We get a good Collins Housekeeping. Not the best, but we'll definitely take it so that we can thin out our deck and try to draw into our trap cards that we need. Got a Drowning Mirror Force, and it will help us out in this section, but it's not a need. Wall Disruption would have been so much better in so many cases, but we're going to gain some life points back. We're going to do the double set, and we're going to go from good from here. So what I do is I chain right here, because I didn't want him to trigger any of his other payloads, even though he had none in the graveyard, but I was still kind of worried about that. And his 2 payloads got sent to the graveyard, but since this card doesn't get banished when it gets removed from the field, it went back to the deck. So that's good, but yeah, most of his payloads get banished when you play Drowning Mirror Force, and that's why Drowning Mirror Force is just not as good as what it used to be in some of the other farm videos that I've showcased on my channel. But we take the 1,000 damage right there for the first Monarch. Very, just an oof right there. We set our Draining Shield, and I keep my enemy controller in hand because I do not want to waste it. Because just in case if Odion swarmed his field with a bunch of trap cards and I do top deck into a Wall Disruption, I wanted to have the availability to switch his monster to attack position. So that's why I never set my enemy controller. Because also another thing you got to worry about too is that one of Odion's cards that he runs in his deck, it's his like boss monster, and it's the trap card that has 2,500 defense and 0 attack. That card has the potential to destroy your back row. That is a very big problem to deal with when it comes to farming against him. So do not set your enemy controller at all. Keep it in your hand and save it for when you have the opportunity to switch one of your opponent's monsters from defensive position to attack position, just in case if you need to do that in the first place, so you go for the OTK. With the Winged Dragon Ra. But so far we're chilling. Odion does not seem to activate any of his trap cards. He didn't really feel like it, I guess. He has his first Monarch on the field, but it's honestly not that big of a deal if he's not going to do anything else with it. So we go pretty smoothly from here, and he doesn't even feel like summoning his payload card, so we played good Goblin's Housekeeping. He's like, I will not summon my card. No siree. So it is what it is right there, but we're just going to keep chilling, play the Draining Shield. Doesn't seem that he wants to summon his other Paleozoic cards, maybe because he wants a big attacking monster since his payloads are very small attack, but it is what it is. Anyways, so we're almost to our final turn, and this is actually our... Nope, we are at turn 25. We're going to play the Wall of Disruption, take 200 points of damage, and here's the final turn. So if your opponent has, or if Odion has all of his monsters in defense position, in that situation, you're going to want to use your enemy controller. Luckily, I did not need to use my enemy controller, so I did not bother to do it. What you're going to do is that you're going to normal summon your Golden Ladybug on your main phase, or you can do this in any order. You can activate double summon whenever in the main phase, just at least activate it. But you're going to activate double summon your Golden Ladybug. You're going to play your Worm Bait, and then summon your other tokens. Next up, what we're going to do is that we're going to summon the Winged Dragon of Ra. for some of the Winged Dragon Ra right there. Pay the so amount of life points to get our Winged Dragon Ra a big boost. Go with the anti-magic arrows and attack for game so we don't have to worry about anything else. And that's how I was able to farm Odion. This was the first successful farm that I got with Odion, and that was the deck that I used to successfully farm against him and all that stuff right there. After dealing with some troubleshooting, this guy is definitely pretty difficult to farm against, but later on throughout the day, I'll find some more farm decks for you guys, because I know not everybody's going to be able to build my expensive Winged Dragon Ra farm deck. But if you guys watched to the end of this video and you haven't already, be sure to go show your support by hitting the like button in the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and join as a YouTube member today. Click that join button next to the subscribe button. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. I'll go see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.